What's up, guys? Lindsey here. Are you ready for some of that sweet, savory, and a little salty cringe? That is X-Men Red number 3. I mean, I love this cover. I mean, I don't love that, but Gambit is my boy. I even defended him in the comic book shop when Rogue and Gambit dropped, even though I ended up hating that. But this cover's dope, and so I'm questioning myself. Do I hang it up? Because the cover's cool. But then it sort of looks like I also enjoy the comic, so I don't know what to do. And also, I'm heavily considering putting X-Men Red on my pull list just because it's so perplexing to me what this even is. Okay, let's get into this garbage. Alright, skip the first page, but it just shows Cassandra Nova heading into the Xavier Institute. Being unseen, just sort of wandering in, and it's like, ugh, look at this. And we see Kitty and Colossus arguing because, you know, people aren't allowed to be happy at all. I mean, DNC talks about how heterosexuality is never the answer, and even when it is, it's gotta be a little bit more complicated. I mean, they don't even talk about what they're arguing about. Okay, whatever. And it's just this right here. This is where I was like, oh god. So, I didn't know anything about Cassandra Nova. When X-Men Red number 1 dropped, I asked the comic book guy, I was like, who is this person? And he doesn't really like her, but he let me know that she actually came from Charles Xavier's, like, afterbirth, or the placenta, and like slithered down in a sewer and then became this very attractive lady. So she's older, right? And adults don't speak like this. And this isn't drama, two people having an argument or having some sort of, not marital spat, but they're almost married, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, this is supposed to be a villain, this is supposed to be an intelligent villain. It's like, ugh, drama. It's like, this is how you know if someone's a piece of garbage, if they ever mention the word drama. I'm including people who are into the theater, and just, ugh, theater people are awful. So she's walking around for like a second, she sees this kid's, can actually see her. And this guy's name is Kyle, but he can see her, so why not call him iBoy? Oh wait, because there's already an iBoy that's the fucking worst. So he plays the pronoun game, you're scared of her. And she says, oh, no one was supposed to be able to see me. Imagine what you could have become. I kind of like that line, imagine what you could have become. And then of course she kills the kid, but doesn't really show it, but this onomatopoeia here lets us know that she cracked his neck, but she pours some sort of vial on him and tells him to go protect Wakanda. So it's like, what? Like, I guess this mutant kid is just supposed to get to Wakanda somehow, all on his lonesome? Or he's gonna steal like a Quinjet or something? I don't know. I don't know what her big game plan is, aside from making the world hate mutants even more, but whatever. And then we get this stuff again. This has been in every issue, a double-page spread of this big-ass logo and our cast of characters. Hey, where's Namor? Hey, where's that other guy who was called, like, Gentle or something like that? But he was very large. And that's what it is. It's called irony. Just stop doing this. I seriously think they keep doing this so they will have to write one less page of this nonsense. Okay, so we're back to India, and if you remember from the end of the last issue, a sentinel is being sent after the mutants after they had a break-in at a very important Indian government place or something. So we see that they also encountered some protesters, but why are these people in the air? Like, I know they're protesters and they hate your dumb mutie everything, and you're ostensibly protecting them by putting them up in the air. Put them on the ground and have them way far away from the action. I feel like all the action's happening up in the air, so it's like, Gene, are you trying to get these people killed? And then just waiting for them to get bopped by the sentinel and be like, oh, Whoops, I didn't mean for that to happen. So, Jean's sort of coordinating everybody to fight the Sentinel, and skip the next 2 pages, but it has Honey Badger and Trinary, who's like the new mutant. She's like a techno mutant or something. Techno, not the music, but like technologically, she can control stuff. She's a haxer, you know what I'm saying? So Honey Badger moves Trinary out of the way, but then she gets blasted by a Sentinel laser, and there's like this close-up shot of Trinary's eyes, and she goes, "You." And, you know, you've seen that in martial arts movies or action movies or whatever, and you think she's going to do something, like, incredible, like, because it's alluded to, like, the next couple pages that Trinary thought that Honey Badger was murdered. And so this is what she does in reaction to thinking that her new friend, the friend who just saved her, is murdered. You're not even ready for this. Sit. This blew my goddamn mind. Okay, so this is what she does in retaliation of her new kid BFF getting murdered with a laser. She just takes control of a Sentinel and tells him to sit. She could have made him shut down, which would be like, for me, the shutting him down is like base level what you do, or just making him self-destruct, because she's responding out of anger, right? And I know the self-destruct is not the optimal solution, but if you just think your friend died, you would sort of go crazy, right? Or just make him somehow make his entire body just start crumbling, or make him fall flat, or something that destroys him, because Sentinels are dangerous. Sentinels are the OG nemesis of mutants, but she just has him sit. And I was like, are you kidding me? This is it. Trinary's a brand new character. Just imagine this, okay? 15 years from now, Trinary's still a thing, and there'll be people being like, man, remember Trinary's first big action as a character to show how badass she was? Bet your sweet ass I do. She told a Sentinel to sit like a dog, and he did. Do you see how lame that sounds when I say it? How could they not figure that out? So it's like, whoa, dude, she's crazy. And we see that Honey Badger's still alive, and she goes, oh, I thought you were dead. And still, that doesn't connect at all. Just imagine, right, like, you have a dog, you have a German Shepherd, because you're a crazy person. Shots fired at people, no. But German Shepherds they're very beautiful, but I guess I don't trust them. But imagine you had a German Shepherd, and it just killed your friend. It was your dog, and you just told him to sit? I don't know, man. I feel like, you know what, I kind of lost it on that one, but it's still like, ugh. She's like, I thought you were dead. Oh, did you? Why aren't you dead? I think this woman is supposed to be a woman. Those are your intestines, right? That we don't see. She got hit with a laser, so why would your intestines go out? If you get hit with lasers, it's like cauterizing everything, so it would stop the blood. And I don't know, I've been shot with a laser multiple times, and my intestines have stayed in every single time. Oh yeah, whoops, I'll just tuck them back up in there, and it's not even, it would be funny to see a kid having a handful of intestines and like just trying to like pat it back in or something. Like, that's a funny visual. But instead, you went with the profile, and you don't show anything. Never mind me, what did you do? It's trying to make it seem like this is like some awesome thing. Like, why didn't the other mutants just start attacking the Sentinel, like, start ripping stuff out of it, or just be like, why is everyone's like, oh, dude, she told that Sentinel to sit down? Am I missing something here? Do I have brain damage that I'm not impressed by that at all? What is wrong with me? And we see Jean with literally her nose stuck up in the air. This is how her character is portrayed in this comic, that she's like holier than thou. She's the savior. of mutant kind, and probably humanity. I mean, I don't want to get that far ahead, but she's probably going to be the savior of humanity. Get over it, racists. Like, how could a mutant take control of a sentinel? I thought their prime directive was killing mutants. Actually, it looks like the majority of the programming is tracking and identify mutants. I mean, yeah, tracking and identifying them to kill them, unless I've missed something for like the last 2 decades. That's far more complicated than shooting and stomping on things. No. Yeah, but they track them to do that. To do the shooting and the stomping. It can still track mutants, but I've removed the killing. Remove the killing. Like, the command prompt of the Sentinels, if I wanted, I could recode it to track down mutants and cook them a light meal. That's like, this is like a thing I have seen. I remember in a Venom Inc., it presents this like sort of funny idea. And in Venom Inc., one of the issues, it was like, I would dress up as a maid if you wanted me to, and the guy's like, good thing I don't want you to. Like, that could potentially be a funny visual. Like, seeing a Sentinel tracking down mutants and then he just has a cake. I'm not saying it's comedy gold. I'm not saying it's even remotely good, but it has potential there. But they just go, I could do that, but I won't. But could you imagine if I did that? It's just like lazy, and I don't... It's like coming up with half of an idea and just throwing it in. Why aren't those 3 protesters unconscious? Literally, they've just been floating this whole time, so why would we be led to believe that they weren't unconscious? They weren't yelling, they weren't doing anything. I guess here, you can kind of see that one's eyes are open, but they've been so small and in the background you really can't tell. But it's because Jean couldn't reach a part of their minds. That's because the program running in the Sentinel is also running in them. Whoa! So Jean can't access a part of their brain to make them not racist, and Trinary doesn't know how to access a human brain. It's sort of, there's an implied thing that there might be something technological in their brains making them act like this, making them fear mutants, but, I mean, and, but it doesn't really tell us the specifics of it. They just can't figure it out. And also, I would like to mention that a completely new mutant, Trinary, saved the day on this one. She saved the day by making a mutant sit down. Can you tell how ridiculous I think that is? Like, the whole premise of this book, of X-Men Red, was to be like, yo, Jean Grey is coming back, and she's gonna fucking change the world. Like, it's gonna be awesome, and it isn't awesome, and she's basically sort of like a background character. She just sort of walks up, and I was like, oh, dude, Trinary did it. I mean, she was coordinating the onslaught in the beginning, but this seems more like a Trinary, Gabby, and Lady Wolverine book to me. It might just be me, but I don't know. And then the cops show up, so they're like, we gotta get out of here. But how? And we see this. You're sure? I don't see why you can't have your own giant robot. I figure you're owed after they kidnapped you. What the hell? Okay, first of all like modern Marvel is like has this like tee-hee, and then in this one it's like tee-hee, here's your robot. This is what you get for being kidnapped. A giant robot. Isn't this so wacky? It's so wacky. I can't fucking stand how wacky it is. It's just, it's like they're obsessed with giant robots. They're obsessed with lasers. They're obsessed with, I don't know, what else? Just like base level. Like every adult, you know, who's like, oh my god, I love insert here. But they don't actually love insert here. They just love saying it. So it's like, oh my god, I love robots. And it's like, well, what does that even mean? And how does that logic even... I don't know, man. It's just like, they all have to get out of there quickly. And Nightcrawler can't teleport them all. But he can. In the first issue, he teleports them from like a suburban neighborhood to Namor's underwater base. So why is this necessary? Because teehee robots. So they start talking about Trinary's background a little bit. How did they find you? They said my father turned me in. They could have been lying. They weren't. And then Jean talks like a robot herself. Not just listen to this. I'm sorry. So far so good, Jean. You've remembered how to act like a human. No one should have to face rejection because of the small-minded prejudice of the very few people, of the very people who are supposed to love them unconditionally. Okay, that's not the worst dialogue I've ever heard in that to be like, oh, that's not how humans talk, but just, no one should have to face rejection because of the small-minded prejudice of the very people who are supposed to love them unconditionally. Can you imagine saying that to a real person? Okay, she basically went to like a black site because her father doesn't want a mutie daughter, which I totally fucking get. Unpredictable. Teen girls are already unpredictable. You're gonna throw her weird DNA in the mix? I don't think so, dude. But then she could have just said I'm sorry and leave it at that, or be like, just say something. Just don't say this. Just don't say this. I don't know how to formulate that. I don't know how to formulate my programming. It's just like, why would you say it like that? Just imagine anytime you've had a disagreement with somebody's parent, a friend has had a disagreement with their parent, and you say, I'm sorry that your father, it's like, I'm sorry your father is a dick. I'm sorry your father is ignorant. He just doesn't understand. Boom, that's it. He just doesn't understand. So they're like, we gotta head back to Wakanda because that's where they have immunity, or they can't be extradited. That's their safe haven right here. So then they start talking about social media. I've been monitoring a rise in anti-mutant propaganda across social media. Our feeds are being filled with it. What could this be about? This writing is so not subtle. I don't even think it's writing. It's just like, oh, here's what's happening in the world. Pluck that. X out like Russia or conserve or whatever it is, and just be like, mutant. Stories of mutant violence and accidents, half-truths taken out of context or outright lies. It's spiked over the last month. Algorithms targeting people with known biases and concerns, stoking this into fear, turning this fear into anger. If you watched any of my videos about any sort of X-Men stuff, you know that I fear muties, and I know that they gotta die. I'm just trying to work out in my brain if we need to kill them in the womb, or harvest them for meat, or do some sort of hunting thing of mutant children, because I think there's gold in them there hills, and money can be made, but this is just like, we don't need anti-mutant propaganda. Mutants are scary. They're just plain on, I'm thinking of like real world angle of like, oh, anybody could be anything, and they could just fucking kill you in a second. Like, if there were mutants, I'd be like, oh no, it's fine. But like in my actual mind, that's very frightening. So we don't even need this anti-mutant thing. It's just, and a little hit of dopamine every time someone likes a post filled with intolerance. Oh my god, I'm just like, I don't know. And then you ready for this? Did you remember that Gambit is supposed to be in this comic? You remember Gambit's supposed to be a part of this team? Oh, and I also forgot this part. We have a hurdle or two in our way, but we'll get back there. No, this isn't just a hurdle. And, like, she's talking about a hurdle in her plans, which her plan was to treat mutants as if their own nation, which doesn't make sense because all mutants live in every country. It's just a flawed plan, and every mutant is so different that you couldn't possibly do, like, a blanket statement on humans. On mutants, so I don't understand the actual logic of it. And when you think about it, it's like Jean Grey's trying to be the figurehead for mutants, and she's they classify mutants as a species, and like they are a species. But if you think about it in terms of race, it's gonna be like and just imagine Jean was black. It's like, Jean Grey is now going to be the public face of black people. It's like, no. Black people are so vastly different and all that stuff, and you don't need a singular person representing all of black people. Even though, you know, we got Al Sharpton, we got Jesse Jackson, we got all those, but it's like, no, it doesn't make sense. They're too different to even do that. And then like, oh, here's Gambit. We're heading on down to Louisiana. Oh, man. I've said it before, is if you hate mutants, do not gather together and protest against them, because they'll take you out. Got like 50 anti-mutant protesters versus like one mutant, you're all dead. You're gonna be outpowered, so don't get together like this. Do that shit on the DL. Keep doing that social media thing. Don't go out in public. You'll die. And then, look, this one sign is just an M. It's like, they gotta get better at their branding. And She-Hulk had a terrible slogan, bio rights. Ugh. And so, she just has wings. He calls her a mutie, which is appropriate. My name is Kara, or Kara. No, it isn't. Names are for more important things, like people. And dogs. Okay, that, I'll admit, that made me laugh. You don't get a name. And Gambit just comes out of nowhere. He's gonna hit her with that. This thing would probably just break on her head. Oh, and I didn't even realize we got this, that shaved head stuff right there. So he just grabs the tiki and he says, 2 garden torches for $12.99. Don't see a price tag on there at all. So this is how they afforded the crowd scenes in Frankenstein. Gambit, why are they doing this to you? You're supposed to be, like, cool. And so he starts hitting all of the tiki torches with his kinetic energy that he has, and then they all explode, and people are like, no, my tiki, look at that guy. Gee, that guy looks like a mutant. That guy's going undercover, and this guy's, he's just wearing a glove. No. That guy looks more like he doesn't like mutants at all. And then, well, that was incredibly satisfying. They can get more torches. And you didn't even burn anybody or do anything. So then a guy shows up with a gun and he shoots at mutant. He shoots at Gambit, and Gambit throws a playing card at him. And then he hits him, but it turns out a mutant that we don't really know anything about or care about is dead. Fuck, dude, a mutant with angel wings? We don't have like 1,000 of those. We gotta protect her. Well, Gambit, why didn't you die? There's like 80 Gambits. We need her. Shit. Damn it. Oh my god. And then the last couple pages are them flying on the robot headed to Louisiana because they see like fire. And then Storm is there. I don't know. It's like, literally, this is how you would guess what's going to happen next. It's just like, go back a couple months and be like, okay, what happened in the news? Okay, we got the Russian Facebook stuff. We got the, what was it, North Carolina, the Tiki Torch thing. Is one of the mutants going to get hit by a car at that protest? Like, what is it? It's the not even being subtle or veiled or anything. It's just literally, okay, Russian, take that. Anti-mutant. Like, oh, and racist, pro-white, take that out. And then we're gonna put, anti-mutant. There we go. Alright. Whoa, man, Tom Taylor, I'm a motherfucking genius. Yeah, but like, see what I was talking about with the cover? Like, the cover's dope. But the comic itself is not dope. Guys, try to have a good day if you watch this whole thing, but I would totally understand if you just had to, slit your fucking wrists after this.